Alrighty, we're live. Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome in and welcome back to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bonnell, and alongside me is my co-host Elijah Span. Before we get started with today's episode, be sure, as always, to go and check out all of our content over at gtdsports.com, where you can find blogs and our podcast network with some other kick-ass shows, and you'll even find Elijah and myself on there. So go check us out over there, and you can follow us on our personal social medias as well, over at Ryan Bonnell 8, and Elijah is at Elijah Span 19. Last but not least, on that note, subscribe to the GTD Sports newsletter at the bottom of our website as well. Actually, I lied. That's not the last note. Be sure to subscribe to us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. We are currently live right now for this Thursday episode. A bit of a weird schedule. We normally do our Thursday episodes live at around 5 p.m. So today is November 4th for those listening to the audio version. We're live right now at a little bit later time than normal. Work schedules shifted around, had to adjust things. So if this will be something that continues, we will let you know in the near future. But if not, here we are. I know it's during Thursday night football. We're going to get you in and out of here. It's not going to be a super long episode, but just thought we'd, continue the trend. Got to keep the Taylor fade going, bro. Got to keep that alive,
Got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the future we could do it at 6. That'd be chill.
6. Yeah, because I know for me, I cover a soccer team, and so their season's coming to an end, and your work schedule is getting more concrete, cemented. We'll have a better idea of what we'll be able to do going forward. But for now, today we're still going to be talking sports as always. The World Series has come to an end. We'll be touching on our thoughts on the Braves winning. Then some NFL antics. So you've already heard, I'm sure by now, of the Aaron Rodgers vaccination situation, Odell Beckham Jr., all that good stuff. And then we got just some good old-fashioned debates, just a few talking points for Elijah and I to go back and forth on. Maybe we tend to agree on a lot of things, so we'll see how much of a debate that actually turns out to be. And then, of course, as you can tell by the title of this episode, thank you, Dana White, for the gift that keeps on giving, and that is UFC 268. It's going to be a hell of a card. We're going to talk about that, and of course, we're going to end up with Taylor Fade giving our best bets. But before that, let's hit some Would You Rather questions. Elijah, are you still with us? You seem frozen. All right, Elijah is frozen on the screen. I'm sure he'll be back with us in just a second. But so for now, I'll go ahead and, I guess that doesn't really make sense. I was going to do a Would You Rather question, but Elijah is frozen out. So let's stall a little bit. We'll come back to the Would You Rather questions. I'll go ahead and dive in to some World Series. As you guys probably are aware, the Braves ended up winning the World Series in 6 games last night. They had a big old fat win, 7-0 in Game 6 in Houston as well. So there's really not much. You probably know Elijah and I aren't big baseball guys. We don't really have any super great analysis to add to everything. But all I got to say is when the Astros lose, America wins. And yes, I may have had money on the Astros to win Game 6 because I thought they were the better team. Do I care? No. Sayonara, that's a $20 I would say goodbye to any day of the week. The Braves needed to win this series for America. I just really wanted it to go to 7 games. Now Elijah's back with us. We're talking a little bit of World Series. Just kind of how I assumed it would go to 7 because the Astros are the better team, but the Braves came to play in Game 6, got the job done.
My prediction was right. Braves in 6.
It's true. It's crazy.
I've been scary accurate, and I've made no money off of it because I just don't place it.
You got to start betting baseball. Well, now you can't, but.
No, I can't. Well, betting baseball during the regular season is just I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves.
Degeneracy, fun, and wanting to feel alive, Elijah.
Oh man, okay. It's just anything could happen on any given night. It's just not.
That's why it's awesome.
That is why it's awesome. I mean, you could probably make some good money doing a lot of picking the right dogs because they'll go to plus 250.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do in baseball betting is I'll wait until a favorite, not the Yankees actually, fuck the Yankees, but for example, like the Dodgers or the Giants, if they were down by like 3 runs in the second inning, their live bet odds would be like plus 400, and I would just hammer that shit and hope for a comeback. And a lot of times they would, so it was good odds.
Hey, well, you know. You want to do Would You Rather real quick, though, before we...
Yeah, we can go back. I tried to do the would you rather, but then I was like, it's gonna be kind of tough, like to answer it myself. So
Oh, shit. We can skip it. Or
no, let's go ahead and hit them. Let's hit
do
them.
it.
And then
Okay,
we'll
let's
get back
do it.
into the World Series.
All right, so you or me first?
You go ahead.
All right, so would you rather watch midweek Maction while betting the under? So you bet the under and you have to watch a Maction game. And it definitely is going to go over, even though the total is going to be at like 60, 70 points.
Which is what happened to me this week.
Yep. Or watch 8 hours of ESPN vaccine content, because I'm not going to say anything about the vaccine, whether you get it or you don't, whatever. But at the office I work at, there's a TV. They have 2 TVs on either side of the room, and they have ESPN on all day. And the only thing ESPN talked about was how Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaxxed and lied about being vaccinated. It's all they talked about. And I was like, this is, I don't know. I feel like the vaccine talk has gone too far for sports content, because it's just like, dude. I think Ryan Russillo said it best. He was like, I wish that Rodgers was vaccinated, but like, what does ESPN think they're doing? Because like, no person that's unvaccinated is going to be like, I didn't really want to feel comfortable with the vaccine, but that first steak was really sick. So maybe
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Stephen A. Smith said I should get vaccinated, so maybe I should change my mind. It's like, I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think there is, to some extent, it is. I think it's important to talk about like the Aaron Rodgers situation, but ESPN has definitely milked it. To answer the would you rather though, would I rather watch 8 hours of uninterrupted vaccine content or Maction? I'm taking Maction, even though in that scenario I'm going to be losing money, but Maction is still electric, so at least it'll be somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, and in the off chance that, the under hits. Probably not.
Yeah.
I bet the under, actually, betting the under in Maction games that don't even hit, or that do hit, still isn't fun, because I bet the under in the Maction championship last year when it was at like 69, and it was awful, and it hit.
Yeah, the Maction games are always so ugly, but it's like, it's beautifully ugly, if that makes sense. Like, it's football you have to watch. Yeah.
It is.
No, but like with the Aaron Rodgers thing, I do think it's necessary to talk about it in the sense that, like, hey, this was your team's leader. This is one of the greatest players in the league, supposed to lead by example type beat. Not only did he not get the vaccine, which that would have, that's fine. Do whatever you want to do. The league had their standards. Other guys like DeAndre Hopkins didn't. There were ways around, to just do what you wanted to do. But he I don't know, lying about it is kind of a big deal, I feel like. And also the fact that he did fucking holistic treatment with like spiritual shit.
I thought that was hilarious.
I did too. That just makes it even better.
That was really funny. I was like, when did Rodgers go full hippie? Like, I want to know. Like
Dude, when he
all of a
started hanging out
sudden,
with Miles Teller, bro.
I guess so, or just with his long hair. Like when did he get so out there, just dirty, full on dirty hippie? Because he wasn't always like, full on. Like, I knew Rodgers was always kind of out there, but I never pegged him as like a Crystals kind of guy.
Yeah. So I saw one tweet that said Aaron Rodgers heard that the vaccine could protect his family and wanted nothing to do with it. Because how he's like ventured off from his family, like they're completely separate.
Oh yeah, that tweet was 100% written by a Bears fan.
Oh yeah. Still, it's top tier though. I thought it was pretty funny.
Top tier. All
right. Well, my would you rather isn't as entertaining. I was having trouble coming up with one this week. my buddy suggested one that was very vulgar, and I almost went with it just because it would have been fucking hilarious. But at the same time, my parents are watching, and my parents would. It was never mind. And now I've said too much, but anyway, would you rather only be able to listen to sports and not watch them for the rest of your life, or get to watch sports, but you can never watch any of your favorite teams ever again?
I'd listen easily. Because sports on the radio is cool. Like baseball on the radio is sick. Baseball on the radio is super.
Like they're completely different. You're right.
Yeah, and I've been like on long drives when there's been Cowboys games and listened to Cowboys games with my grandpa. It's awesome. So yeah, easily.
I feel like it's easier said than done though, like, because you're right, it is cool. Like it's a whole nother experience, and you could even say it's like a pastime listening to baseball on the radio and stuff. But if you never had the option to watch it in person, I feel like you'd get out of touch with the game, or like if you had never seen it in person and were only listening to it.
Yeah, but I would not like not getting to watch like the Cowboys play.
So. Yeah, exactly. Like just getting to watch all the random teams. Never. Yeah, that. I would think. I think it also depends on the scenario too. If like when you couldn't watch your favorite team, if you could also like listen or keep up with the scores at least.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If you'd asked me this question at this point last year when the Cowboys were dog shit, I would have said maybe take watching sports still, but we're good right now, and I'm not missing that shit for the world. So
fair. I wish I could say the same, but we lost to the fucking Jets.
Still 5-3.
Yeah, still 5-3, still playoff picture, but
do it be.
It's just it do it be. Yeah, it's frustrating. All right. Anyway, though, enough would you rather. Let's get back to the World Series where we were. So as I said, when the Astros lose, America wins. Braves in 6. The craziest part about this whole World Series is the fact that the Braves were one of the most unlikely World Series champions of all time. And I didn't even realize this really until the postseason came around, that the Braves had a losing record. They were 44-45 entering the All-Star break and had a 0.3% chance to win the World Series, which is fucking nuts, dude.
That would have been a very, very nice payout if you would have known to put a futures bet on that. So
see, that's how you know we're just degenerate gamblers, because the first thing my brain exactly went there too. Like, damn, that would have been a good bet. Like,
right? There must have been somebody out there who did it. Hopefully, he didn't have enough of other World Series bets to where that made him a profit. But yeah, man, this is a crazy, crazy story. They got hot at the right time. And the fact too is like there's been so many 90+ win teams, and the Braves were the worst team by record to enter in the postseason. There's teams with better records that missed the postseason. So I think that's a crazy thing about baseball, and I think it says something about the playoff and the playoff race. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing that the Braves won. I think it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like mad that the Braves won, but you do kind of have to look at it and be like, why the fuck do we play 162 games when there's teams that had worse record than the World Series championship, the World Series champions that didn't even go to the playoffs? So,
yeah, I still, you can call me, maybe I'm just not traditional enough, but I will never understand why to this day baseball is still 162 games. I think if they were to shorten the season, it would validate the playoffs a bit more, like you're talking about. It would bring in a younger audience that doesn't have the attention span to keep up with 162 regular season games. Like, I don't know. I think it would improve. It would modernize the game for sure.
I think it would too. And I mean, I love baseball, but I'm not going to watch 162 Rangers games a year. You got me fucked up.
Yeah. And I mean, it literally doesn't matter if you lose. It just doesn't. You can lose and be like, we'll be back tomorrow.
The only thing I like about baseball having that many games is that literally I can go to the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
and it's a more casual experience. Yeah.
Right. I'll go to a fucking baseball game 6 days a week. I don't care.
I agree. I could go to the ballpark all the time. Yeah. Going to the stadium and everything is always a different experience.
Right. But yeah, so I don't know. Baseball definitely should be better. They'll probably, I don't know, maybe once they get rid of Manfred, they'll figure out ways to really improve their image, especially young people, because literally like 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds, like they all care about NBA. I don't think they watch NBA though. I think they just watch Twitter highlights.
Yeah, I was about to say I do know though that the NBA is like by
Killing it.
far like the highest growing major sports league within like the youngest
Matt, shut the
generation.
fuck up. Yeah, no, it is. It is for sure. And then, but I mean, football, NFL king right now. I mean, football forever be king. But baseball's man, it's kick ass. It's one of the best sports of all time. I mean, like, I will say that nothing is cooler than the shot of the first baseman catching the winning, the clinching, the title clinching out. Have you the shot of Freddie Freeman when
Yeah.
he leans forward and then like
He's smiling like already as the ball's coming. He's
already,
like,
you see it every year.
yeah.
Like you see it with the Cubs when they did it in 2016. Like literally every single championship team, that play. Like 9 times out of 10, they get the last out instead of like a walk off. That would be insane though. Which has happened. But like that's like one of my favorite sports shots, or like just camera angles of all time. It's the best.
I
Brings
agree.
a
Yeah,
smile on my face.
just thinking about it, I already got goosebumps and shit, man. Like, because
Yeah.
I remember exactly, very vividly, the Cubs video too. Whenever they broke the curse, that one was probably the most iconic to me, because like,
Yeah, it definitely
they
is.
broke the curse,
Right. So, but yeah, it's definitely, just want to give that shot some love.
Yeah, the Braves though, just in terms of, again, back to like their journey of how the fuck they even got here, I think it's wild because even when the postseason was starting, nobody really talked about the Braves. Everybody was focusing on the Cardinals had just won 18 games straight. The Dodgers are the fucking Dodgers. That's all I have to say about them. The Giants were the most unexpected 1 seed in recent history. Other side,
Right.
like they just weren't the Astros. Everybody's talking about the Astros, like 5 straight ALCSs.
The
Nobody was really
Brewers,
talking about the Braves. Yeah,
the Brewers
even
had a lot of buzz.
Yeah, their pitching staff was really hyped up and everything. I liked the
95.
Brewers. I thought the Brewers were going to beat the Braves.
They had 95 wins.
Yeah, I mean they were a good team.
Yeah,
so it is wild. But the craziest part about all this is their mid-season moves. Like they did everything fucking right, because coming into the preseason, they were picked to finish like top 3, top 4. A lot of people had high expectations for the Braves. They kind of shit the bed at the beginning of the season and weren't living up to any of those expectations, even when Ronald Acuna Jr. was healthy. Then Ronald Acuna Jr. tore his ACL right before the All-Star break, out for the season, and they went on a mission. They brought in Adam Duvall. They brought in who else was it? What's the other
Jorge
guy? Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson. Like, they brought in big name guys and they flipped their prospects for them. Like, they played it to the T. They went all in for a World Series and it paid off. I don't know the details on the contract situations and whatnot. I don't know how long term they're going to be able to maintain this lineup, but if you have this lineup with Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back and you add like maybe one pitcher other than Fried, they could compete again.
Charlie Morton.
Yeah, but he got hurt. Yeah.
Pretty freaking good. And, they got there because of their pitching staff. Like, they have a pretty good pitching staff. So I don't know, man. It's baseball's a crapshoot. You never really know. And there's not really, baseball is one game that there's not repeat champions, which is one thing I really, really like about.
I do too. It's so much harder to go back to back in baseball than any other sport.
So, yeah, probably not, but it is nice to see him do it, especially for Freddie Freeman, man. That guy's been with the Braves for forever. He's been through their dog shit years. Like,
yeah.
And then finally now he's in his early 30s. They're good, and he gets his ring, which is really awesome.
Yeah, and like one more point on how you said like teams with a worse or teams with a better record than them didn't make the playoffs. There were an MLB record 11 teams that finished with over 90 wins, yet none of them won the World Series, which is kind of crazy because the Braves finished with 88. So,
damn, that is nuts.
Yeah, wild stuff. Good for the Braves. I'm happy with the result. I mean, if it was between anybody and the Astros, I'm going with anybody. So happy Atlanta won. Now let's talk about NFL. Let's get back to our bread and butter here. We touched on the Aaron Rodgers vaccine situation, but as Elijah mentioned, it has been on ESPN and everything nonstop. So we don't really want to dive deep into that. But another situation that's going on right now and has also been making headlines is Odell Beckham Jr. is potentially not going to be a Cleveland Brown for much longer. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I think he's acting like a baby, for one. And another is that I think that some of his struggles really do have to with him being hurt a lot. Like the year that he was traded to the Browns, he was coming off a year where he broke his ankle, right? Was that the injury that he got with the Giants?
I think something with his foot. So I think it was ankle.
Eli Manning's last season, I believe. And then he got traded. Yeah, it was Eli Manning's last season because he never played with Daniel Jones. Then he got traded to the Browns, and his Browns' first year was very so-so. It was his year back from injury. Also, just couldn't get on the same page with Baker. He only had 2 touchdowns. And then last year, weren't still not really cutting it, and then tore his ACL. And now this year, he's been banged up, missing games. And then when he's been back, still just not getting things done. So it's like, I just don't think he's given Cleveland a fair shot, maybe because he's been so often injured. But I do think that he should probably get out because I don't know, just something's just not working out. But at the same time, I think a lot more of it is due to injuries.
I agree that like the injury situation plays a part, but I honestly side with Odell. Ironically, typically I would be one to like say stop being a bitch, but in this, and I think maybe he's being a bit dramatic with the whole thing, but I think he has a point. Because yes, there's been injuries, but even in his fully healthy season with the Browns, he had his lowest receiving yards of any fully healthy season. He had by far his lowest target share of any season. And meanwhile, while he was with the Giants, he had 4 out of 5 years with 1,000+ yards. 2 of those he only played 12 games. And he got hurt the one year he didn't hit 1,000. So it's like seeing, and now his production this year, because you could argue like last year's injury, but just coming back from injury, he has 17 receptions in 6 games and 0 touchdowns, which I don't know who to put the blame on, because there's so many elements and so many variables in all this shit with football, but from like the clips and the film that I've seen, it definitely seems like Baker Mayfield needs to start finding him more or looking his way more.
Yeah. If you watch the video that his dad made.
That one in particular, yeah.
Oh my God. That was
so funny though that he actually posted that. What the fuck?
Yeah, you can give shit.
Did you see Baker commented on it?
Did he really?
Yeah, Baker said like you have a point, like we'll do better, like we'll try to get better, like some basic cliche shit.
Oh. Well, good for Baker for not trying to be a dick about it.
Honestly, yeah.
People don't like Baker. People don't like Baker because like he's cocky and like an asshole, but that's he's trying to make shit better. So, I think Cleveland definitely should have traded OBJ though, because we already knew that OBJ was like pretty pissed off in the first place.
I just didn't think this would. I just didn't think this was a good fit. I don't think this was going to work out.
And because you really have a point with that, because last year after OBJ got hurt, the Browns offense got better.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Jarvis Landry, who's pretty solid. I mean, you could say David Njoku's good. Who else do they have? They got what's his name? The young guy, really young guy. Peoples, is that Peoples something?
Donovan's Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, Peoples-Jones.
Yeah.
What a name, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, man, Browns. I don't know. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, are they just gonna release him, or like, are they gonna try
That
and make things better, or like what?
that's what I've been trying to figure out, like the exact semantics of the whole situation because like I've heard he's been sitting out of practices
Yeah.
since the
Yesterday and
trade
today.
deadline passed. What?
Yesterday and today.
Yeah. So he hasn't been practicing and they like dismissed him from practice, so they like let him go. But I don't know. And like with his dad posting the video, apparently he said he wants out of Cleveland, but like the trade deadline's already passed, bro. What are you doing? I don't know if he's going to sit out the rest of the season. I can tell you he's not going to play this weekend. I know that. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I really have no clue what's going to. Oh, excuse me. Got the hiccups. Beyond
Yeah.
that, I have no clue what's going to happen. But how do you think if he does sit out for the remainder of the year, how do you think this not only not having OBJ, but just this whole drama situation as a whole is going to affect him?
Well, like he's already had his like behavioral issues, I guess, with the Giants. It's part of the reason why he was traded because he, couldn't keep his emotions in check. I mean, we all remember the kicking net saga that
Oh
was,
yeah, yeah,
um,
classic.
and sideline outbursts, and then the Josh Norman game his rookie year. So like I don't know. He's kind of had a history now, and now he's doing it with the Browns, and he's not happy and not upset. And if it doesn't work out in two places, you kind of have to look at yourself as a team. It's like, well, yeah, this guy's really talented, but at this point, and with all these injuries, do we really want to take a risk on him
Well,
for
you
because how expensive he's going to be and how much attention he's going to demand for not only from like within the locker room and from media. So like, there's a whole lot of factors of why I wouldn't want OBJ.
I think the injuries overweigh everything else you just mentioned because I think yes, he did have those antics and stuff with the Giants, but I mean since then we really haven't heard of any like Odell, throwing a helmet on the sideline or anything
Right.
like that. But and just I know it's somewhat cliche, but I do think it's worth noting that the media kind of portrays Odell, doing stuff on the sideline as uh, overreacting or lashing out or throwing a temper tantrum. Meanwhile, if Tom Brady's on the sideline and he was to throw or kick a fucking net, throw his helmet, they're going to be like, that's the intensity right there. That's the drive. He wants to win, like he's trying to get his team fired up type thing. So I think it's all about perspective with that kind of thing. Cause I mean, we don't really know what's going on the sideline. And yes, as an NFL organization or owner, the optics are important because you would have to deal with the bullshit in the media that comes along with it. But in the grand scheme of things, it seems like that really hasn't been that big of a problem for Odell lately. You cut out? You still here?
I'm still here. I was doing some stuff. But that brings me to my question though: is which wide receiver do you think is more disgruntled right now? Is Michael Thomas or OBJ? Because another big bombshell to come out over this week is that Michael Thomas isn't going to play anymore. And if you remember, he is big mad at the Saints because of the injury situation and some other stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, so I get it, but I also don't get it with the Michael Thomas. So in
Like, what
terms of
happened?
yeah, exactly. Like what the fuck's going on? If he needed this surgery, then why did he not agree to get this surgery 6 weeks ago? Why has he just been sitting on the sideline on the pup list? Like
Well, I thought he already did get the surgery.
he's getting another one.
He's getting another
Yeah,
one.
he's getting a surgery. That's like that is why.
But that was one of the things is he didn't get off-season surgery, and he got surgery when training camp started. And the Saints were like, "Hey, what the fuck? We told you to get surgery in the off-season." And then he was like, "Nah, whatever." Kind of like a little situation. And then and then I don't even know, but like he's mad, and I'm not really sure like what would happen, but I think it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I think there's more behind with the Michael Thomas situation. I think there's a lot more behind the scenes stuff that we haven't really heard about. Like there's got to be.
But a lot of people were saying like when he first went on the pup list is that Michael Thomas doesn't want to be a Saint anymore. Like that was really talked about. And now that he's missing the rest of the year, I think it's very possible that he asked for a trade in the offseason.
I do too, and I wonder if the Jameis injury had anything to do with it. I just thought about that. I highly doubt it.
I
But
highly doubt it.
may have played a part. I don't know. But to answer your question as to which receiver I think is more disgruntled right now, I'm gonna go with Michael Thomas because I think it's more of a shitstorm. There's more to unpack than we probably even know about. It's more confusing. And I think in terms of value on the field for his team respectively, Michael Thomas is a bigger miss than Odell is. And right now
100%.
his issues seem to be more long-term as well than Odell's. So that's why I think it would be Thomas.
100%. I agree. I think that I think Odell might be a little bit more disgruntled. It's a little bit more public, but Michael Thomas is very much unhappy, and he does mean, like you said, he means a hell of a lot more to the Saints than Odell does to the Browns.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder too, like you mentioned, I wonder part of the reason if it seems as if Odell's situation is maybe worse is just because it's been in the media more. Like Michael Thomas really isn't a big, massive media guy, doesn't always have to have the attention on him. He doesn't give a shit about that. So it seems like the media has also kind of not given a shit about it because there's no juice there.
Odell's always been a focus in the media ever since he came in. So
yeah,
that probably has something to do with it. Okay, but here's my next question. This is a fun one.
Sticking with the debates.
So when season first started, we all thought NFC West by far and away most kick-ass division in football. But now we're at week 9. What do you think is the best division in the NFL right now?
All right, I looked them up. I need a visual. I'm a visual learner. I gotta let's see.
Because I think it's the AFC North.
See, I was actually going to make a case for that, but I thought you would call me biased.
I think it's the AFC North.
Overall, I would say it's got to be either the AFC North or the AFC West.
AFC West?
All around. Yes.
AFC West is not, dude. I think their stock has gone down because
it has gone down.
At the first 3 weeks, you had Denver, you had everybody. Chiefs, I don't think, whatever. Raiders could still potentially be frauds. Like, oh, yeah, well, 2-0 with Basikia. Yeah, you played the Broncos and the Eagles. Like,
I mean, you're right. But at this moment, like all around best, I mean, I would still actually go with the AFC North. It's weird to say that the Steelers, who are 4-3, are the weakest link of the division.
Right. Because they're still – the thing about the Steelers, bro, is like, yeah, they really don't have it, but they still got Mike Tomlin and they still have a hobbled version of Big Ben. But every now and then they're going to get the job done.
Dude, they've been really hard to pin. Like, they are a really hard team to predict and everything because they're slowing down, but they're still the fucking Steelers,
Yeah, like Steelers is just one of those teams that, like, you just don't really want your team to play either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we got to play them twice a year. No, I'm actually glad you said that. Give us some respect. AFC North.
Because the Ravens have been really, really good this year. The Bengals have had an upstart year, even though you all lost to the Jets.
Don't care. We don't need.
And then, like, I don't know. But I think that all around, solidly, like, AFC North is the best division in football. Because the NFC East, like, come on. Cowboys and then the rest is dog shit. And then AFC East, the Bills are great. The Pats are getting better. And then Dolphins and Jets. No.
Yeah. No. I think looking at the NFC, I'm trying to see like an NFC division that could compete. I mean, you could maybe argue the NFC South because like the Bucks are obviously really good. The Saints show that they might be a lot better than we thought they were. I mean, they're fucking 5-2 and they just beat the Bucks. So They might be decent. Panthers are 4-4, started out 3-0. Even though the Panthers did lose 4 in a row, they still seem somewhat decent.
And the Falcons can always be a little feisty.
Yeah, which they're 3-4, which I thought they would be like 1-7 at this point based on the way they started.
They're always kind of feisty. I think Arthur Smith is a decent head coach. And like they're still, they still have a good offense.
It's so if I had to name one actually though, right now, I would agree that I would say the AFC North. It's just hard because I try not to sound biased, but I mean that makes most logical sense to me. I mean, from top to bottom, like depth wise,
it is from top to bottom because NFC West, you do have like, Rams and Cardinals right now, who are two of the best teams in football, 2 top 10 teams easily. But you also have the Niners, who aren't very good. They're still having health problems and can't really get it right now. And then the Seahawks, who I'm sorry, without Russell Wilson, and I think their defense is not good enough for when Russ comes back for him to do enough to make a playoff push. I don't. So
wow, bro, you don't believe in Geno, man?
No.
No, but I agree. I mean, like talking top to bottom, like in the AFC North, there is no like, oh yes, we're playing them this week. You know what I mean? Whereas every other division kind of has that right now. Like even with the AFC West, who I kind of made a case for, I would consider the Broncos like oh yes, we're playing the Broncos right now.
Right.
Yeah, at this point in time, based on how they've been playing. And then again, like with the NFC West, I would be happy to play the Niners or the Seahawks right now. Right. So,
and then if you're the NFC East, you'd be happy to play any of us except for the Cowboys.
Yeah, literally anybody other than the Cowboys.
Like fucking Giants, let's go.
No, I would be happy to play the Cowboys just so we can settle the debate once and for all, and just prove that the Bengals are better.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. The Cowboys are definitely better this year.
We're awesome,
at least right now.
So.
Oh wait, actually, no. Let's have this. Let's make this a debate. This is a small debate. I just thought about this one. My buddy and I were arguing about this right before the podcast started. And I feel like we're both going to be on polar opposite ends. What is the worst fan base to root for? Like, would you rather be a Bengals fan or a Cowboys fan in our generation?
I'd rather be a Cowboys fan.
See, because I'd rather be a Bengals fan.
We'd rather be it because that's what we are.
I know, but I'm talking like
if we could choose.
Yeah, like starting over. I don't know. Because like, yes, it sucks to like not have playoff wins, but I feel like it would suck even more to be like, oh, America's team. We have so much expectations.
That's what I love about it.
Not win a single goddamn playoff game ever.
That's what I love. Well, not the playoff game part, but I love doing
two appearances in the last decade. But
I love it when the Cowboys are better, the NFL is better. I love that.
I think when the Cowboys are like 2-8, that's when the NFL is better because then it's just memes on the Cowboys.
Yeah, but when we're better, then viewership all around the country is better. So
I guess in that case, yeah, probably. I'll still never understand why
we have some of the best fans.
Team. No.
We have the most loyal fans. Actually, our fan base is trash, but
I was about to say, if we're talking fan base, Bengals take the crown, bro. They're all nice Northerners, No, they don't give a shit. They're not hostile at all. Exactly. They're not
exactly.
They can't make any arguments.
No, I'm happy, but I am really worried right now because like, oh my God, we're doing so good. And I know at some point in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's going to crumble. It's like, but what if we win? But then in the back of my mind, it's like, it's going to crumble. So, but hopefully we can get.
What's the current playoff picture? Let's see.
I think we're the 2 seed or the 1 seed. I don't know. There's a bunch of teams that only have 1 loss right now.
So I'm trying to see. For the NFC, it would be Cowboys and Saints. Okay, damn. I'm really trying to see a Cowboys-Packers round 1 game. That's what I want.
No!
That's what I want.
No, we want to face them in the NFC Championship. That's where Rodgers is weak.
Oh, that's where Rodgers is weak?
In the NFC Championship? Yeah, hell yeah. He's lost like what? Fucking 80 of them bitches?
We beat you guys in it last time.
Nah, but not in the divisional round. Yeah,
No, he beat you guys in the. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
he's beaten us in the divisional round twice. So yeah, if we face him in the divisional round, we're fucked. But
I don't know. I want to see
NFC
it first.
Championship, we
I
can do
want to see
that.
it first round, bro.
I would be so upset. I'd be so mad.
Right now, it has the Bengals slated to play the Bills, and I'm gonna be pretty fucking pissed if that's what happens.
That's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be really tough.
Speaking of playoffs, though, how would you feel if the CFP turned into a double SEC, double Big Ten show?
The fact that this is a likely scenario right now really pisses me off, and I fucking hate it, and I hate the committee, and I hate everything they have built. I love the playoff format, love the I would say fairness. I love the idea of fairness behind it. I just don't think it's ever going to be achievable until we expand it to either 8 teams or 12 teams. So how would I feel? I would hate it. I do not want to see this.
Yeah, you're saying like fairness in theory, but fairness and not unfairness in reality is definitely making me think of communism again, like I compared it to in our college football preview episode. So, which I stand by that. I stand fully behind that. And another thing is like, if that happens, like you have to go to 12. You have to go to 12. Like
100%. Like at least 8, because like in my I'm totally happy with 12, and maybe that would be better. But in my ideal scenario, I have 8-team playoffs. You get the 5 Power 5 conference champions automatically, those 5, and then you get one group of 5 at-large bid. So Cincinnati this year would automatically be in, and then you get those 2 extra teams to suck the committee's dick a little bit. Give them that Alabama. Give them that one-loss Ohio State. Shove them in there. I don't care. You got the champions in there. You got the underdog that deserves a shot. That's fine by me. But I mean, 12 teams, even better. Why not?
Right.
More the merrier.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
So are the Warriors back?
The Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
I think so. I think they are, bro. I think once they get Jameis Wiseman back too, bro, like
Not
fully
even
healthy.
Jameis. Klay Thompson.
Both. Like that's insane. They're like what, 7-1 right now, or 6-1?
6-1, yeah.
Yeah, on top of the West, I believe right now.
Right.
And they're without their second best player.
Right.
And arguably, no, I'm not going to say Wiseman's better than Draymond Green, but
they're not.
Wiseman's very important. Wiseman's very important for them.
He
so.
could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Steph is fucking killing it. He's averaging close to 27 right now. He's got 97% from the free throw line through 7 games, which
That's
I mean,
ridiculous.
Like, not a huge sample size, but anytime you see anything well above 90%, you're going to say, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's Steph, too. That's kind of just what he does.
Yeah, so I think they're back. They're definitely going to be – I could see them as a top 3 seed. Hopefully Klay comes back and he doesn't have any more setbacks, because a Warriors team without Kevin Durant is something that I could get behind again like that.
Yeah, exactly. I really, whenever the Warriors were their dynasty, I have absolutely nothing. Love Steph. I think every basketball fan loves Steph. Nothing against Klay Thompson. The Splash Brothers, hell yeah, make it rain. Steve Kerr, great dude, great coach, no problems there. But I will say, I do think Draymond Green is a little bit annoying.
Yeah,
in the media, but
for sure.
Again, nothing to completely hate the team over. But then Kevin Durant, bro, changed everything. Fuck KD till I die, bro.
Yeah, that was. I definitely I was a Warriors. I don't know. I just enjoyed the Warriors. I liked them. Wasn't a fan. I didn't buy any gear or anything. But then once they added KD, I was like, oh, I literally don't care about those guys.
Yeah, and I'm like a LeBron. I'm a LeBron fanboy, you could say, and so I was.
You could say it.
Yeah, although I'm a Heat fan, I was riding with the Cavaliers whenever they were in their back and forth finals, trilogy.
Yeah.
So it was like a healthy rivalry, though. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I hate the Warriors. It was more like, oh, I can't wait to watch LeBron play the Warriors. Like, that, I want to see that so bad. So
Yeah.
I think they are back this year, and it's gonna. I don't know. I would say surprise a lot of people, but then again, it's Steph Curry, it's Steve Kerr. This what they do. So
Yeah. All right. And then here's one. I'm glad you added this one in there. So, what is the most entertaining of the non-core four sports?
this is a really, really hard question. Even though I added it in there, I don't know if I have a set in stone answer.
I have mine.
I think I do. So obviously core four, we're talking hockey, baseball, basketball, football. So
So anything outside of that. So you got tennis, golf, F1.
I'm split between two right now.
Um,
I don't
what's
see. I would say soccer, but like I don't know. Even though it's technically not an American core four sport, I would consider like soccer up there as like a mainstream type
yeah,
sport.
that's definitely a mainstream type sport. I
So
thought soccer was in the core four.
nah, it's hockey, baseball, basketball, football.
Oh, you're right. I'm dumb. My
America,
bad.
baby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ah,
so I would say soccer, but for the sake of the argument, in terms of like non-major sports per se, I'm gonna say UFC. Got to go with MMA.
really?
Yeah,
That's a good pick.
yeah.
That's a really good pick. Although for me, I gotta go golf.
I was thinking you were gonna go with golf. Yeah.
I gotta go golf. I just enjoy watching it. It's a good casual watch. And then as somebody who plays golf, it's if you don't play golf and you hate that pick, I know why, because I used to not play golf and I didn't give a shit about golf. But as soon as I started playing golf, I started liking golf a whole lot more. So it's definitely just something you have to play to appreciate more. And it's just I don't know. It's just good to watch. It's entertaining, especially when you get to the playoffs, or like the majors, because guys like really want to win that. Sometimes in the NFL, like I think there really are some guys that like as soon as they get paid, they kind of don't give a shit. But in golf, they're always going for that money and they want the glory, and it's all on them. It really does provide for some of the best drama in sports.
I find it kind of funny though that you chose like golf as the most entertaining, because although I do agree with those points, because I as well began appreciating watching golf a lot more once I started playing it, and like watching their stroke technique and all this stuff. But in terms of entertainment wise, I feel like I don't know, it's just like pretty slow, like
Yeah,
no like razzle dazzle type things. I don't know.
it's hangover TV, and sometimes that's the best TV in my opinion. Just to kind of look up, maybe play on your phone a little bit, look back up, enjoy. Entertainment can really be enjoying yourself. But I really like your pick in the UFC, because that didn't even enter my brain as like sport, because I really don't associate combat sports with other sports for some reason, even though I am a big UFC fan. It's just
Mhm.
something that just doesn't click with my brain. But no, I agree. Like since the pandemic, I've watched every single UFC numbered event. And I've even, watched a couple of the Saturday Night Fight Nights when I can, or just when they're on. Usually doing stuff Saturday night.
Yeah,
Drink.
same. Like if it's not
So
like a numbered event, I'll watch it if I can, but it's
yeah,
never a major
but
deal.
I mean, like, it's a great product. Dana White is like for like commissioners or guys who run their sports, he is definitely like
Top tier.
top tier, like top two, if
I'd
not
say
one.
I'd probably say he's number one, honestly.
It'd be him or Adam Silver.
Yeah, I'd agree. I agree. Those are
So,
definitely the top two.
um, like he knows what he's doing. He makes the right decisions every single time, which is what we're about to talk about, because he definitely knows what he's doing for this Saturday at
Bro,
Madison
yes,
Square Garden.
sir. Beautiful transition there into UFC 268 this weekend, because Dana White is the gift that keeps on giving. This man has put together yet again a absolute must-watch card. If you haven't heard about it yet, holy shit, you are missing out. You got to watch it this weekend. We got Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington in a rematch for the welterweight belt. We got Thug Rose, baby. We have mentioned it multiple times. She is probably the Going the Distance podcast favorite fighter. You know, just our
She's definitely
podcast, number one fighter. Thug Rose, always rooting for her against Zhang Wei Li, the absolute. Oh, I'm gonna just let it play. Best fucking intro song ever for her.
No.
What?
McGregor's Irish song.
Oh, what? Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't know, dude. The Rose in Harlem just gets you going, bro.
Which song is that, by the way?
I don't know
the Foggy Dew with Sinead O'Connor.
I was gonna say, I know you're talking about, but I don't know.
I listen to the gym all the time. Pump.
But anyway, Thug Rose going against Wei Li for the strawweight title. That is going to be a rematch, actually. They literally both fought each other in their last fight on Usman's last card. So both these guys are out again together. And then we got another must-watch fight, which it's really hard for me to pick which fight I'm most excited for. I have no idea, but it might be this one. Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, 2 knockout artists. Hold on. I'm just going to get through the card, then we can talk about the fights. So we got Freddie Edgar against Marlon Vera, Shane Burgos against Billy Carantillo. I honestly am not too familiar with him, but Burgos is a dog. And that is the main card. We also got a few big names as well on the prelims, like Al Iaquinta, longtime UFC veteran. But, man, this is stacked. I mean,
it's a good card. It's a very solid card.
Yeah, from top to bottom. Fights. Let's start with wait, what are you gonna say?
Just those 3 fights, dude. Like this might be probably one of the most stacked, like well-rounded, big 3 fights that I've seen in a minute.
Yeah. No, yeah. Let's
quality.
Let's go ahead and talk like more in detail a little bit about just because I mean, you know, Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera, that's going to be a good fight, but the show is here for the top 3. Everybody's here to watch top 3. So first off, let's start our work from the bottom, work up. Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler is going to be a slugfest. If you like haymakers, if you like big bombs, you don't give a shit about fundamentals and you want to see people get knocked out, Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler is the fight for you. This is going to be amazing. How are you feeling, though, about the odds, you know, the who's favored and whatnot?
Gaethje minus 220, Chandler plus 180. I probably wouldn't do this in a single bet just because I don't know. I don't like doing anything over minus 200. Like that's
me neither, bro. UFC single bets are hard.
They're hard. They're hard.
You gotta do parlays, bro.
You gotta do parlays. So I don't know. I agree with you. I do think Gaethje is probably the clear favorite. He hasn't fought in a while though.
Yeah, it's been like a year.
But I mean, I still remember Joe Rogan talking about him, and he's like, he called Justin Gaethje scary, talking about him and his technique and how he fights. He's like, he's a bad man.
Dude, I think he really is. In terms of like intimidation, there are very few. Well, I mean, I would be terrified to get in the ring with anybody, but like there are very few fighters to where like I would be intimidated just to stand next to them. Justin Gaethje is one of those guys. Like he's
right.
Even though he's a nice guy, like, you know, he's like kind of very, you know, uplifting in the media and everything, not like a super big dick, but he's just scary. I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah, in his last fight, you know, like he fought Khabib, which nobody can beat Khabib. So he probably, you know, could be the champion.
Yeah, that's a really interesting factor because the lightweight championship race, or not race, but the title situation is fucked because you got Khabib retired. That sent everything out of whack. You got Dana forced an early fight for a belt with Oliveira and Chandler. And then you got Dana also, this is kind of the only time I'll knock Dana because he did fuck up the lightweight division. He forced the Poirier and McGregor trilogy. That really shouldn't have happened in terms of the championship. And then now you got Justin Gaethje, who's not even fighting for the belt because he came off a loss that in a fight he wasn't even supposed to be fighting. Like he took that fight against Khabib 6 weeks notice. Like that fucking That's balls, dude. That's just pure respect. I don't care how bad you lose. That is Khabib Nurmagomedov, the best of the best. Like, good, just respect. I mean, nobody else is going to do that. So it's also before that Khabib fight, he was coming off 2 big wins. He had beat Donald Cerrone and also beat Tony Ferguson, who was widely considered as one of the best. So
yeah, Tony Ferguson's really good.
yeah, he came off some big wins.
I watched that Ferguson fight. I remember that. He beat the shit out of him.
Dude, Gaethje was just going in, bro. Like, it honestly wasn't even close.
Yeah, his face it was just one of those UFC fights where the guy's face was just all blue. The eyes, were puffy, and it was just not a good sight.
Yeah, exactly. But bro, Tony Ferguson will never get knocked out, and like the hell will freeze over before Tony Ferguson gets knocked out.
Right, I agree. yeah. And then we haven't even talked about his opponent, Michael Chandler, who beat the shit out of Dan Hooker, which that loss is looking less and less impressive as time goes on. But then, because that's really since that fight, Dan Hooker's been on the decline.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
But he did do a backflip after he beat up Dan Hooker, which is really cool.
That was sick. It also scared me that he was going to get hurt, though.
Yeah. And then he fought, and he had a title fight.
Yeah, with Oliveira.
Yeah. So
wild to think that this man has only had 2 UFC fights, and one of them was for a belt, and now his second one is potentially for the title shot. I mean, if he beats Gaethje, who knows? He might get the shot.
He might get another shot. Yeah, especially because Poirier is going to fight Oliveira, right?
Yeah, Oliveira is the current. Yeah, that's the whole thing that's fucky with it, because Oliveira is the current champion. Poirier is the number 1 contender. Gaethje is number 2. So, like, in my opinion, Poirier deserves the title shot over anybody else.
Yeah, give it to Poirier.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, you could make a case, though, that if Gaethje wins this fight convincingly, that he deserves it. Because before the Khabib fight, Gaethje was in line. He was going to be up next.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. Damn, he shouldn't have. Well, Khabib was the title fight, right?
Yes, it was. So he stepped in.
Okay, so that's why he took it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is why he took it. But I don't know. It may have been a bad move on his part to take it. He definitely earned my respect. So, but no, just with Chandler, it's crazy to see that he is already like at the top of the ranks.
Yeah, but he was a big UFC signing. They wanted him to come in firing out hot, and which they've done. Hopefully, not too long though. What division is Paddy the Baddy in?
Good question, actually. Paddy the Baddy. I think he might be middleweight.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Let me see.
I was about to say
Paddy the Baddy weight division. Oh, no way.
Is he a lightweight?
He's a lightweight, baby.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yes, dude. That
100%.
is. There's lightweight is by far the best division. It always is.
100%. 100%.
Always.
Stat. Okay, right. Next up.
Yeah, moving on. I'll let you introduce your girl.
Thug Rose, baby. I love Thug Rose. I don't even know why I like her so much. I just like her. I like watching her fight. She got a bald head.
Bro, she's like...
She kicked the shit out of the... Who did she fight last time?
Zhang. This is a rematch.
This is a rematch? Oh, shit.
Yeah, she fought Zhang. She had that head kick knockout in the last fight.
That's right.
Yeah, 78 seconds into the fight.
Oh, Thug Rose, baby.
Thug Rose, baby.
I like Thug Rose in this fight to beat Zhang. Zhang's a pretty damn good fighter though. But yeah, that's all I gotta say though. Just her nickname. That's what gets me.
Thug Rose.
Thug Rose.
Yeah. No, honestly, I mean, her whole persona is like, it's very hard not to like her because she is such a badass. Like, doesn't give a fuck in the ring.
And
but
she's
in the interviews, like soft spoken.
And in she's so like frail and tiny.
Yeah.
But then when you see her land a punch on somebody, you're just like, holy shit.
It's like, where did that come from? Yeah.
Yeah. So she's awesome.
Bro, wait, I'm gonna say it. Rose is kind of bad, bro.
If she had hair,
Rose is kind of bad.
If she had hair, yeah.
Even without the hair, bro. I think
even without the hair, she's
Have you seen her with her hair though?
No.
You should look that up right now.
Thug Rose hair.
Cause she used to have like a full head of hair, and like
Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, I forget. Yeah, Van Zandt was pretty attractive
Van
back
Zandt
in
was
the
a
day.
model.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Thug Rose is cute.
Anyway, back to the actual fight itself. But this is by far, like without a doubt, the biggest fight of Thug Rose's career. She's already had a belt before. With her last fight beating Zhang, she became the first female fighter to ever reclaim a championship after losing a belt. That's already impressive as is, but she needs to. This fight is for Thug Rose to prove to the world that she is the real deal, and that was not a fluke knockout against Zhang. Because even though I love Thug Rose, that was a fluke knockout versus Zhang. it really kind of was.
A little bit, but I think she gets full credit for it. She's gonna
I
win
know
again.
she should definitely. I want to see it go all 5 rounds though. I
It's
want
not.
Thug to win in all 5 rounds.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not like what Peter Yan, kicking your boy in the face to win his title.
Oh yeah, kneeing Sterling in the fucking head while he was down.
Yeah, because he was
Yeah.
winning that fight.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Sterling lucked out heavy on that.
Yeah, it was okay though because I had money on Sterling.
I did too.
Last up, we have our Usman v Covington. Usman, I've watched all of his fights since the Masvidal fight, and he's a bad man.
Dude, yeah.
He is just, you could just tell whenever he fights that he's just on another level than any other fighter.
Yeah, it is so blatant too. Like we've talked about, Conor back in his heyday, he was great, but Kamaru is so great that it's at the point where it's boring. Like he is so much better than everybody else in the welterweight division that it's just boring. Like there's no worries for him.
Honestly, like Kamaru at where he's at now is basically about where Khabib was during his heyday.
I would agree. No, I would agree.
Because like when Khabib was going, it's like, all right, this division is stacked, but nobody can beat Khabib. And Kamaru was like that too. But the thing about Kamaru is that he could do it in any which way he wants to. He could wrestle, he could strike, he could do what he could, whatever he's got to do to beat his opponent. He'll foot stomp for 5 straight rounds. He got to. I mean, he'll do what it takes and he'll get the dub, man.
Yeah, and I think like the craziest part is, and I hope I explain this correctly because I know what I'm trying to say, but it's hard to figure out the wording. But like from the time he became champion to now, he has improved drastically more than he improved from the time signing in the UFC to becoming champion, if that makes sense. Like already as a champion, he has just gotten levels and levels beyond where he was, which is like, it's crazy.
How many title defenses has he had?
I think he's at 5 now. Let me see.
5. Holy shit. That's a lot, dude.
I think he's at 5.
Because he's done it against Masvidal twice, right?
So he's at 5 defenses. This will be his 6th. He took the belt from Woodley, defended it against Covington, defended it against Masvidal twice, and against Gilbert Burns, who's a bad man.
Yeah.
So
he beat the shit out of Gilbert Burns too.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Like he told him little boy.
Yeah.
So
and then other than that, in his division, actually, who I do want to see Usman fight is Leon Edwards. That would be a good fight. Okay. Even though Usman would beat the shit out of him, I still want to see him fight Leon Edwards.
I hope Usman gets like 10 title defenses and then just calls it quits.
He literally might. I mean, it might be that. And he'll probably get rematches with half of them because the whole reason, they're rematching Covington is one, yes, the media hype for the fight, but also, I mean, if anybody in the welterweight division was going to give Usman a run for his money, it's Colby Covington. He's really the only person that can compete with Usman's ground and pound style. And like you said, though, Usman has developed into where he's so versatile, so well-rounded. He can strike as well. But if it goes on the ground, Covington can actually compete. And Covington might actually have the upper hand in some wrestling maneuvers rather than just straight up ground and pound. So I think it'll be the best fight we've seen yet because in their first fight, Usman was beaten up. I mean, Usman got his eye hit. He was swelling up. Covington did some damage, but Usman was in control the whole time. So it's hard to pick against Usman for sure. I would like to say it's going to be a really entertaining fight. Will it actually? I don't know. Because Covington, he used to be on the top of his game last time these guys fought. He was super popular in the media, mostly for being hated. I'm sure you have probably seen him with his Make America Great Again hat on and his whole Trump persona. And I feel like it's kind of just died down now that Trump isn't as relevant. He's been less relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I think he's the only person in the division that stands a legitimate chance against Usman.
Yeah. You got a parlay for Saturday night?
Oh, okay. Parlay. I do. I'm like I said though, like with UFC, I always prefer doing parlays instead of straight bets. I'm gonna pull it up just so I can make sure I'm not misquoting myself. So I know for sure I've got Kamaru Usman money line. I don't care how steep it is, throw that in there. Usman's winning the fight. Kamaru Usman money line. Then I got Justin Gaethje money line. I think he comes out on top, even though it's going to be a slugfest. And then last but not least, I'm going with Shane Burgos money line minus 190. And the reason I'm taking Burgos is because I know what kind of fighter he is, and I've never heard of Billy Carantillo, and maybe that's on me. But if I've never heard of him, how good can he be? So I'm taking that 2.5 units to win 5 units.
Nice. I'm doing. It's kind of if just basically my 3 picks for the 3 biggest is I got Gaethje, Thug Rose, and Usman. Since Thug Rose is at plus 100 on my book, it's like a little under plus 300. So it's like I did a 1 unit to win like almost 3, like $2 off of 3 units. So it's like plus 290 or something like that. 40. That's like 15. I did 15 to win like 43 and some change. Nothing crazy, but figured why not.
A little bit more juicy, yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna take Thug Rose on a straight bet too.
Okay.
But I was a little bit more nervous to put her in a parlay.
Understandable. Yeah, but her odds are okay enough to take in a straight bet.
Yeah. Which usually with UFC, they're definitely not.
It's the exact opposite.
All right. Well, speaking of betting, let's hit it. Taylor Fade time, baby.
Taylor Fade. I don't have her records for last week. I just know that I did very bad, but that could be excused. I don't really remember making those picks. So maybe
we'll add it up next week. So, oh fuck me! I just got a score notification. The Colts are winning 42-10, and I have money on the Jets plus 10. Sick.
Yep, that's why I didn't do it because I was about to, and then I checked who the bets were on, and it said like 67% of the bets were on the Jets. And I was like, that's never a good sign, so I stayed away.
I mean, you're right. It's not a good sign, but I don't know. I was delusional because they beat the fucking Bengals. But
yeah.
Anyway, all right. College. I'll start with college football, then go to the NFL. First up, I'm taking Maryland plus 10 at home against Penn State. I think the James Franklin train has left the station in Happy Valley. Their focus is all out of whack. They've lost 3 games straight. Their season's done. Even if they win, Maryland can compete.
I'm going to fade.
All right.
I still think that Penn State is just a better team in general than Maryland. So
they are, but I don't know. Their offense is just so slow.
Just the amount of recruits. Sometimes, stars add up.
You're definitely right. I mean, even if they are struggling this year, they still have the number 1 recruiting class of next year. So,
right. All right, show me what you got next.
All right, I'm going Kentucky money line minus 110 versus Tennessee. This game is a pick'em. It blows my mind that it's a pick'em. Sure, Kentucky's lost 2 straight. I think they're still way better than Tennessee, and they're at home.
Yeah, get it right, game. They're at home. I'm going to tail.
All right. Next up, I'm going Big 12, the opposite of the stereotype. I'm going Oklahoma State at West Virginia under 49. This is a new defensive brand of football under Mike Gundy. So I'm taking the under.
I'm going to fade.
All right.
You know me and the overs.
Yeah, especially Big 12. All right, next up, I'm going Clemson at Louisville over 46.5. I don't care how bad Clemson's offense has been this year. Louisville has like an average of 60 something points scored per game with their opponents scores combined. So Clemson's offense, they got better last week against FSU. So
and they got to hit it over at some point. So I'm going to tail on this one too.
yeah, they got it. That's why I bet on them last week. I was like, they got to cover a spread eventually.
Yeah. Which we got bailed out on.
100% got bailed out on.
All right. Last one.
Last but not least, I'm going NC State at -2.5 at Florida State. This line is really small, in my opinion. Florida State's still really bad, so it kind of blows my mind.
I'm going to tail. I like NC State over Florida State, 100%.
Yeah, Florida
Especially
State's bad.
At only 2.5. All right, so with my bets, I kind of thought, some that I liked and some – I looked at the bets that I liked and I was like, you know what? What's going to give Ryan the biggest headache? So first up, I got Mizzou plus 39 at Georgia.
See, I actually had this picked out as well before I saw you had it. And looking at the rest of your picks, yes, they're all going to give me a fucking headache. But this one I actually do like a lot. Tail. I'm going to tail. I think that's way too big of a spread.
Yeah, I think, obviously Georgia's going to win.
Obviously.
Like, no duh. Like, whatever. But they gotta not cover at some point, right?
Exactly.
It's pretty big.
I took South Carolina. I had South Carolina plus 31, and they lost by 29 to Georgia.
Yeah.
So
but also like, this game could easily go to like 28, 35, nothing. They put the backups in, and this game turns out to be like 42-10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's same philosophy. They got to put the backups in eventually.
Bang. All right. Next up, Michigan State -3 at Purdue.
This one is probably the biggest headache of them all because Michigan State is such the obvious pick. Like I'm so confident that Michigan State will win this game, but why the fuck is it only a 3-point spread? And also Purdue is 2-0 at home against AP top 5 teams with their current head coach. Which kind of scares me, but I'm trying to not fall for the trap because I feel like this is a trap line, but I don't care. Sparty's the better team. I'm going to tail.
All right. Next up, I got LSU plus 20.5 at Bama. Edo's last time with the Tigers facing the Crimson Tide. It's a huge spread. I think that they could maybe make it a game and see what the hell is going down. So, yeah. Go Tigers.
This is hard, bro. Go Tigers. This one's really hard. Because it makes me like, why the fuck is it 28.5 points? That's so much, dude. Like, fuck it. I'm going to fade. I'm going to go with Bama. I don't know.
All right. It's fair. Okay, next up. Liberty plus 9.5 at Ole Miss. We got a Hugh Freeze revenge game. Taking Hugh Freeze plus 9.5 with Liberty. Malik Willis, right?
Yeah, Malik Willis. They've been
okay. They've been
playing well. Not as good as last year. Ole Miss has kind of been back and forth in terms of the spread. They're at home though. I would much rather take the first half spread in this game. Because it'd be like Ole Miss -4 or something, but I'm still gonna fade it. I think Ole Miss can cover.
All right. Next up, I know I've stayed away from putting TCU in our Taylor Fade segment, but I think our team is gonna have a lot of emotion, and here's what made me put it in. So GPAT's leaving. Players are gonna want to do this for GPAT. Baylor's our biggest rival. We're at home, but here's what sets this bet over the moon. Is we're wearing the gray and red jerseys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly. You can't argue with that. Enough said.
TCU money line if you can.
I am 100% going to tail this. Although I am not super confident TCU wins the game, I am really confident that TCU can keep it close for all those reasons you just listed. Most importantly, the GP news. I think they're gonna play their hearts out. They're gonna want to win for him. Get this win. It's Baylor. Fuck Baylor. A bowl game is still on the line. If they win this game, they can still make a bowl game. So a lot to play for.
Right.
All right.
Oh,
Heading to the NFL now. I'll start us off. I got Falcons plus 6.5 on the road in New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going to win the game, but not cover.
Trevor Siemian starting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Falcons. I'm going to tell.
All right. Next up, I'm taking Vikings at Ravens under 50. I've been loving the Vikings unders lately, and they're going against another run-first team. I think this could be a lot of clock chew.
You know what? I'm going to fade. Ravens are going to clown them.
I wouldn't be too surprised. All right, anyway, next up, I got Chargers at Eagles over 49.
Oh, easy tail.
Right, dude? They've been scoring left and right. Like, yeah. I love that line.
And if the Chargers blow them out, the Eagles are so good in garbage time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now this pick is strictly because I think it's a trap game. It's 49ers Cardinals. Obviously, Cardinals are 7-1. They should be the obvious pick. But for some reason, Vegas has the 49ers favorited. So I'm taking 49ers -2 at home against the Cardinals.
See, I did this last week with the Colts against the Titans. I had that same philosophy. So I'm going to fade for that reason.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
It didn't work out for me.
All right. And then last but not least, on my NFL card, I'm going with the Chicago Bears at the Steelers under 39.
Oh
I know this is a ridiculously ugly low total. I don't care. I'm betting the under. This is going to be like a 13-7 game.
Fuck it. You know what? I've faded every single one under. So let's just keep the trend going. Let's go over.
You're going over? Fade. All right. Fade. Fade it
is.
All right. Let's hear yours.
Okay. First up, I got Pats -3.5 at the Panthers.
I also had this one on my card, almost added it in before I saw you had it, so I'm going to tail that one heavily.
Next up, we got Jordan Love's first ever start at the Chiefs. He's got 7.5 points in his favor. I've got him. I think he's going to get it.
I love it, dude. I'm tailing it. I love it 100%. Yeah, Jordan Love, ride the hype train.
7, even if he doesn't get the win, 7.5 is just too many points for a team like the Packers. And Jordan Love was good in preseason.
Yeah.
And in relief. So maybe he's like actually good.
I feel like they're either going to be a really close game or he's going to suck and they're going to lose by 20. Like no in between.
Next up, I got Tennessee +7.5 at the Rams.
I'm going to nervously fade this one. I think there's going to be an adjustment period without Derrick Henry. Rams are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm just going to – this might be one of my favorite bets. I feel like a genius for doing this. Giants +3.5 versus the Raiders. They're playing in the noon slot. The Raiders are a West Coast team. We all know how West Coast teams fare in the noon slot while playing on the East Coast. Also, you have to consider this might be a little bit of fade the public because I probably can guarantee you that most of an overwhelming amount of the bets are going to be on 73% of the bets are on the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. I'm heavily tailing that. I already liked this line before you even mentioned that West Coast thing. That actually makes a lot of sense. It's definitely a trend to follow in betting, so I'm going to tail that one heavily.
All right, last up. I seriously don't know how I feel about this bet, but it's one of my picks, man. Dolphins -5.5 versus the Texans. They got to get a dub against somebody, right?
You're right. They got to get a dub, but I'm going to fade, baby. Tyrod Taylor's coming back. I think he's going to get the cover, even though the Dolphins might win a close game. It's crazy, though, that the Dolphins and the Texans are like at the same, they're at the same record whenever people had the Dolphins pegged as a potential playoff team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just wild.
And the fact that they almost traded for Deshaun Watson this week.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that because I said I wasn't going to.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Got a huge card in the UFC this weekend. Stay tuned on our Twitter. I'm sure we'll be live tweeting some of those fights and whatnot over at GTD_sports. But until then, thank you all for watching, and we will be back here live again on Tuesday, back to normal time at 8 o'clock. Elijah, any last-minute comments?
Yeah, man. Everybody should have a good weekend.
I love it. All right, we're leaving it there. All right, see y'all on Tuesday.